And Fritzy with the back row hit there. That was Adolph knocking it over. Knights open up with an early 3-0 lead here. Don't know if they've done that much so far this season. But that was Adolph again. And that will fly out, and the Panthers get their first point of the game. Let's see if they can take this and use it as a little bit of momentum. The outside hit there was by, I believe, Vilhauer. And it will be a point for, point for GPL, down 2-3 now. Sarah Warner on the serve. It was a serve received by, I believe that was Hemmen. And the Knights can't get that one over, and it is now 3-3. Sarah Warner on the serve once again. Serve received by Hemmen to block, and now it's hit there by Adolph, and that will fly out. Point for GPL and a little 4-0 run here. Warner on the serve once again. Serve received by Rovang, and that'll fly into the net. Point GPL. Up 5-3 now, and a little 5-0 run after Aberdeen Christian scored the first 3 points of the game. Warner on the serve, and that will fly out into the Aberdeen Christian bench. Knights are down by 1 now, 5-4 in favor of GPL. And the serve there will fly out. It'll be a point for GPL. Kristen Cluck or Libero on the serve. Serve received by Rovang. To block in the middle, outside to, I believe that was Fights. Once the outside hit coming, take by Block, or Rovang I should say. And that was Fights attempting to hit it there. He doesn't make it over the net. Point. Panthers. Cluck on the serve once again, and that will fly into the net. It'll be a point for the Knights, down 7-5. As I forgot to mention, Kendra Schlecht coming in, getting her first action of the night, coming in for Lexi Charlemagne. Kristen Cluck on the back row hit there. It will fly out. Point for Aberdeen Christian. I believe that was Velhauer on the serve. It will go into the net. Point Panthers up 8-6. Anna Fritz on the serve. Serve received by, I believe that was Joy Robrock. Not entirely sure. I'm not very good with the names. Fritz on the serve once again. Serve received by Vilhauer. To block. Out to, I believe that was Shock, I should say. And Len tried to push that one over the net. It will fall into the net. A lot of unforced errors here, I think, by the Panthers. I mean, in my opinion, Aberdeen Christian shouldn't be coming very close to beating GPL, but I don't know, I think our Panther girls are letting them play with us. Nice serve received there by Cluck. She'll have to knock that one over the net as well, and she does. Cluck on this dig there to Scone, out to Lent, and it'll fly out. Point for the Knights, only down 1 now, 9-8. Kaylee Block on the serve. Serve received by, that was Cluck to Scone to Schlecht. Out once again. And just like that, the Knights have tied it right back up. Now, like I said, the Knights are winless on the season so far. They're 0-13 at the bottom of the region. I mean, the thing is that, Aberdeen Christian, they are I would say that they're kind of young. I mean, they do have a lot of juniors. They have a fair amount of juniors and seniors, but again, so I'm looking at the roster. They have 4 8th graders, 1 sophomore, 4 juniors, and 2 seniors. So, very interesting to see what the future has for the Lady Knights. The outside hit there by Fights. It was going to set to Schlecht in the middle, and she'll get the kill. It is now 12-9 in favor of Great Plains. Serve by Lent there. Serve received by, I believe that was Rolbrock. And they're going to give a point to GPL. I was going to say they're going to call a double hit. I'm not sure on who. I did not see who. But either way, it is a point for GPL. Lent on the serve once again. Serve received by, I believe that was Vilhauer. Nice hit there by Hemming to get it over the net. We have Sarah Warren on the outside hit. That was close. And it'll be a point for the Knights. Down 3, 13-10. As number 4, Mary Fights on the serve. Serve received by Kristen Cluck. To Warner. To Scone with the knockover. Now that was barely tipped over there by Alexis Schock. And she'll get the point there, 13-11, GPL. Mary Fights on the serve once again. Serve received by Cluck. Scone with the middle set to Schlecht. That was blocked by Adolph. Cluck on the push. That's Adolph to block to Hemming. And it'll get through Warner and Schlecht, and it'll fall down. The Knights only down 1, 13-12. Serve there by, I believe that was Fights once again. Warner on the hit. There's a nice dig there by, I believe that was, they need a point to, they're going to call double hit on one of the Knights. I didn't see, there were both 2 of them going after it. Kendra Schlecht on the serve. Oh, Lexi Charlemagne coming in there for Kristen Clark, subbing for the GPL. That was block. Oh no, that was Adolph knocking over. Sean on the middle hit there. And it's going with the middle outside set to Sarah Warner. That'll fall into the net. Knights are down 1 once again. Kendra Schlecht now coming out for Kristen Cluck. And that was Shock on the serve, but it'll fall into the net. Point GPL. 15-13. It's going on the serve. Serve received by, I believe that was Rolbrock. It'll fly out ace for Scone. Going on the serve. Serve received by, I believe that was Hemming. Hemming also knocked that one over. It's going with the set to Charlemagne in the middle. That's block. Out, so I believe that was Vilhauer. That's Lent. It's going with that was Cluck, I should say, and Warner knocking it over. That's Rohrbach. It's a block to Adolph. And it'll go off of Cluck's arms, fly out the back. It's a 2-point game. 2-point game now, right now, between GPL and Aberdeen Christian. Good point for the Knights there, I believe. I don't know if they counted as an ace. I'm not entirely sure if that was an ace or not. Irregardless. That was Hemming on the serve. Serve received by Lent to Scone to Fritzy knocking it over. That's Hemming to block to Adolph. That's Fritzy. Scone to Charlemagne knocking it over. That's Rohrbach. That'll be right next to the net. Knights can do much about that one. 17-15 GPL. Sarah Warner, the 5'9" sophomore on the serve there. As a serve received by, I believe that was Rovang. Then with the nice push over, nice weren't ready for it. Point for the Panthers, up 3, 18-15. Let's see if they can go on a bit of a run here. Take control of this first set. Warner on the serve once again. Serve received by Rovang. That's block to Vilhauer, which will go out the back. Point for GPL. And I believe Aberdeen Christian calls a timeout. Now, if you weren't here at the beginning of the game when it started out, like I said, the Panthers come into this game 10-12 with the record. And Aberdeen Christian comes in 0-13, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. They're still winless, looking for their first win. This should be a nice win for GPL, and I'll get them back on track after losing 2 straight. Trying to get a 1 game closer to 500. But if you did watch the live stream, I believe it was Thursday night when the Panthers took on Wilmot here. Not a lot has changed in regarding to seeding. I mean, everyone's still in their same spots. I mean, this late in the season, when you talk about averages, I mean, when most teams have played, 20, 25 games, it's pretty hard for 1 game to really bump up lose your average or anything like that. So, I mean, the teams are in their usual spots. Northwestern at 27-1. Huge powerhouse, probably the favorite to win it all this year at state, sitting at 27-1, followed by Warner, who I believe is 23-4. Then Langford, followed by Waverly, then Wilmot. I believe that's the 5 seed. 6 seed is Clarkwell Lake. They passed up Florence Henry. Florence Henry is at the 7 seed. We're in the 8 seed. Britton Hecla follows us in 9th, and Wabe 7th, 10th, and Aberdeen Christian bringing up the rear in 11th. Now, see, the thing is that with these seed points is that, I mean, like I said, it goes based off of strength of schedule and who you beat and who you lose to. Like, for example, Clarkwell Lake has a seed point average of 40.35 or something like that, and they have a record, and they have the same record as we do, but we have a seed point record of 38 something, and so that just based off they play probably better schools than we do or something, or they've been beating better teams than we have. And Florence Henry right in the middle of us, they are at 11-11, so they have more wins than either of us in the same amount of games, but they haven't played a tougher schedule or tougher teams since than Clarkwell Lake did. But it will be very interesting to see how the season shakes out. I think GPL, they have 2 more games after this, 2 more regular season games. They have Wabe Summit tomorrow, which will be at Summit starting at 6:15, I believe, with the JV game. And then their next game, their last game of the regular season will be at home versus Waverly. I believe that starts at 6. It's also our Dig Pink night. It starts at 6:15 here at GPL. That was that little side tangent. Great Plains is still maintaining a lead. It's 21-19 now. Ref's going with the set to Lent outside. Should do a cross court hit. That's Fritzy with the dig to Scone. To Schlecht with the push. It's Vilhauer to block. You can see that otherwise a bit of a shock. Scone with the outside to Lent. And nice recover. They have to hit it over here. And it'll go into the net. The call is 4 hits. And GPL gets a point up. Now there's 3 up and 3 away from taking the first set. Outside hit there, but I believe that was Fights, but it will go into the net. Point GPL. Lent on the serve once again. Serve received by, I believe that was Roybach. Block to Fights. That's Lent to Scone to Warner. Roybach to going back over the net. And that's going with the middle set to Schlecht. It'll barely get over. Select once again. It'll go over to the back row this time. That's Fights hitting it into the net. 25-19. Or 24-19, I should say. GPL 1 away from taking the first set. And once in the serve received by Roy Brock. That was blocked. The Panthers recover. They don't, as Sarah Warner knocks that one out. It's now 24-20. Fights on the serve, and it will go into the net. And GPL will take the first set 25-20. And I'll be back in about 3 minutes with the second set. Sorry, I'm back a couple points late. I was caught up in a couple things, but I'm back. Don't worry, I know you guys were all worrying about me. You don't have to tell me. But while I was away, Panthers opened up the second set with a 4-1 lead, looking to extend it here. We're going to have Fritzy knocking it over the net. That's Roving to block, to Fights, and it'll go in the middle zone there for GPL. I guess I don't know what you call that. Is it just like a giant zone and you section it off, or what you just call it? Is it just like their territory, their side? I don't know. Something, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a football player. I don't know volleyball very well. We're going to block to, with a shock outside. And they'll give it to GPL. They're going to say over the line on, I believe, Anna Fritzy there. Be point for Aberdeen Christian getting back-to-back points here. Narrowing the lead to 1. That was Vilhauer. Fritzy on the hit there. That's shock and a little bit of miscommunication. It went straight up in the air. 5-3 GPL after the night error. Kristen Cluck on the serve. Morgan Gosh takes his seat after seeing her first action of the night. I'm not entirely sure who she came in for. I believe it was Kendra Schlecht. They're going to give a point to the Knights after calling a lift on GPL. The lead is now back down to 1, 5-4. Those block on the serve. Service by Fritzy to Scone to Warner. Into the net. It will go. 5-5. Block on the serve. Serve received by Cluck to Scone to Warner. That's Vilhauer to Rohrbach to, I believe, no, Schock. Fritz an outside hit. That's Hemming with the dig to block to Fights. That's Lent. Scone with the set to Schlecht in the middle, and she'll get the kill as Vilhauer couldn't get to it. And the Fritzy on the serve now. Serve received by Rohrbach to block. And going to give the point to Aberdeen Christian. I didn't see what the call there was. Not entirely sure. I believe it was Kendra Schlecht. Not entirely sure. Maybe it was over the net, into the line. Over the line or into the net, that's what I meant to say. And GP will get the point there off of the kill. Sarah Warner now back up to serve. Serve received by Vilhauer to block out to, I believe that was Adolf. Lent in the hit, knocking it over. That's Vilhauer. Not entirely sure who that was. Didn't see who it was there. And it is now 8-6. Warner on the serve. And, ooh, that was a close one. I don't know. I thought that landed on the line there from my perspective. Irregardless, point for the Knights. It's now 8-7. Shock on the serve. Serve received by Warner to Scone to Schlecht in the middle. That's Vilhauer with the dig to block, back to Vilhauer. And she'll get the kill as Warner couldn't get to that one. It's now 8-8. And Coach Royal looks very, very frustrated. I mean, he knows as well as almost anyone in this gym knows that, I mean, these girls should not be playing with our Panthers. I mean, there's no way that our girls should be struggling this much. I don't know if they're coming out flat or what, but it's very, very frustrating to watch. Tonight, if you couldn't tell, as most nights, we always have a dress-up night. So far this year, we've had red, white, and blue night, blue out, white out, black out, things like that. But tonight is costume night, where you can wear any type of costume. So, I mean, we have Jack Sparrow, Darth Vader, a giraffe, a couple of things. But we also do have Anthony Barr and Aaron Rodgers. Now, for most of you who do not know, yesterday Aaron Rodgers, who is a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, broke his collarbone after taking a hit from Anthony Barr. So it's a little mocking towards Packer fans is what those two guys were doing. And we'll have, I believe that was Shock on the serve there after she got an ace after a bit of miscommunication from the Panthers. It's now 9-10 after Aberdeen Christian got a 2-point lead. Morgan Gosh came in there for Krista Cook, I believe. Well, Fritzy, bad hit there by Fritzy. Let's go and try to save that one, but she couldn't, and it'll be a point for the Knights, and it is now 9-11. And Warner with the amazing service. You've got that one right back over the net. It's now a 10-11 as Carly Heil comes in for Anna Fritzy. Carly Heil, the 5'9" junior from, I believe, Marshall, Minnesota, getting her first section of tonight. Let's go to the serve receive, or serve, I should say. That was Rivong on the serve receive. And they'll fly out. It's back. It's a tie game now. Back to it's 11-11. And it'll be an ace for Reagan Scone as it flies out for Rohrbach. It's going on the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach once again. It's block to Adolph, knocking it over. And I've lent in it over for the Panthers. That's Hemmond to block to Adolph in the middle. And that'll hit the net, and they should get, yep, and they do. Gonna call 4 hits on the Knights. And GPL's on a little 4-0 run here. See if the Knights can do anything to stop it. We're gonna have Scone with the outside set to Lent coming. I believe that was Rovon with a nice dig there. Let's go with the middle set to Gosh. And it lands in the back part of the zone. Nice job there by Gosh, and the Panthers on a 5-0 run as their head coach, Stephanie Matson, calls a timeout. A bit of upcoming events for GPL. Like I already mentioned, our volleyball team will be traveling to Summit tomorrow for their final road game of the season, not counting districts or regions or anything besides that. But our football season concluded this last Friday. Our football team played up in Britain Hecla in Britain, and with their season finale there. And I believe our cross-country team concludes their season this Saturday. I believe there's a couple of our boys team and I believe 2 girls. Hannah Crotts and Chloe Kilmer are our girls, and our boys team are running out in Rapid City for the state meet. I believe they're leaving about Thursday afternoon, spending the night, and then getting a feel for the layout in the higher elevation there. So very interesting to see what happens out there for them. Gosh in the middle hit here, and she'll get a kill. 2 kills for Gosh so far. And the Panthers continue their little run here, their scoreless run. It is now a 7-0 run. Serve received by, I believe that was Hemmond. Let's clock to Scone, to Gosh in the middle once again. It'll go into the net this time though, and the scoring job for the Knights end at 7 points as the lead is 4 now. Panthers get another point there. It is now 17-12. Once in the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach to Rovang. Back to Rohrbach, knocking it over. That's Warner. It's going with the outside set to Heil. It's Rohrbach with the dig to block. 2 fights. And it'll fall over. Going to call a lift on GPL as well. They should. 17-13 in favor of GPL right now. I believe that was Velhauer on the serve. Warner knocking it over for GPL. That's Rohrbach to block, to fights in the middle. Clark with the dig. Scone with the push. Good push. And wow, what good placement there. That ball landed in the back. Very, very back. It looked like it was going to fly out. but it didn't. And the lead is now 5 for GPL, 18-15, 18-13 I should say. Now we'll make it 18-14 as Kristen Cluck can keep that one in play. High on the outside hit coming in. She'll get the kill. Nice job by Heil as the bench is fired up. Everyone in the crowd's fired up. The lead is now back up to 5, 19-14 as Heil takes his seat for Fritzy coming back in. Fritz in the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach to block to, I believe that was Hemmond. It's Rohrbach to block to a little miscommunication with the Knights, but they still get it that one over. Just going on the hit there. That's block to, ooh, nice block there by Kansas Select. The lead is now 6-20-14. I believe Panthers' biggest lead of this half. Not half, what am I thinking? This is volleyball, there's no halves. I do always joke around with Mr. Martins because we always play before the game for volleyball. And so I always joke around, I'm like, hey, are we going to play at halftime too? It's such a joke. It actually worked one time. He's like, oh yeah, we will. But then he, didn't realize that there wasn't a halftime. Funny story. I can tell you're all laughing. You're loving my story. Fritzy on the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach. To Vilhauer to block, hitting it over. That's Fritzy to Scone to Schlecht, and she'll hit that one in the net. Point. Knights. Fights on the serve. Coming up for Aberdeen Christian. And that'll go out, and it is. The lead is now back up to 7, 22-15. Warner on the serve. Barely getting over, and a nice serve there. I don't know if you try to do that. The lead is now up to 8. It looks like GPL will be taking the second set as well. A little more commanding this time. It was pretty back and forth for a while, but unless Aberdeen Christian makes a really good comeback, I don't see them winning the second set. Shock on the serve. Serve received by Cluck to Schlecht to Fritzy with the push over. Well, that's Adolf to block outside to Vilhauer. And they're going to give it, they're going to call a lift. I didn't see who it was on, but the Knights have strung together 3 quick points. Lead is down to 6. We should say quick back-to-back points. Cloak with a hit there. Don't know if that was going to go out. It was a good decision just to hit it just in case, because you never know. That's Adolf with a hit. That was blocked by Lennon. It'll go all over the Knights. And the Panthers are now 1 away from taking this second set here as Morgan Gosh comes in for Kristen Cluck. Kendra selecting the serve. Serve received by Hemmond to block to Adolf, and it'll hit the net, and it will fall down. Point for GPL, and they will win this second set 25-17. They're up 2-0. They'll be back in about 3 minutes to see if they can sweep the Knights. And I am back here with the third set. The Pandas get an ace right out of the gate. And we do have a comment here that I would like to mention. Jonathan Nemi, as I already call him Mr. Nemi, he is a music teacher at St. Martin's here in Watertown. He says, didn't like that Rogers comment too soon. Sorry, Mr. Nemi. I am a Vikings fan, so I was overjoyed when Rogers went down. I was actually at that game yesterday. I was at the Vikings-Packers game yesterday. And, I mean, the stadium, there was a lot of murmur going around, like, oh, is he hurt? Oh, is he going to be out for a while? Then it came out that he broke his collarbone, and the Packers fans, they went pretty quiet after that. It was very nice, very nice. I know you Packer fans aren't too happy about it, but us Vikings fans are, because someone actually can win the North now. But in any case, the Panthers have jumped out to an early 4-0 lead here in this third set. Crazy volley going back and forth right now. And we're going to have Vilhauer on the hit here, and she will step over the line. Oh, nope, they're going to say Fritty steps over the line first. That'll be a point for the Knights getting their first point of this third set. Fritzy on the hit there. He will fly out the back. Point for the Knights. Lead is now down to 2, 4-2. There's Gosh on the hit, knocking it over. And we're going to have Adolph hitting it over. That's Warner to Clock. To Gosh hitting it over. That's Adolph. And Lentz didn't think that was going to go over the net or land. The lead is now 1. That's Hemmen on the serve. Serve received by Cluck to Scone to Fritzy with the tip over. That's Hemmen. And it'll go out. Point. GPL. It's now 5-3. We're going to have Adolph on the hit here. Dig by Scone to Fritzy to Warner. That's Rohrbach. Block. And I can see who that was there. The official was in the way. Regardless, it is a point for GPL. Once in the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach to Will's block, and then Vilhauer, and she knocks that one out. 7-3. That was, couldn't see that was there on the service receive. Regardless, we have Scone with the set. Gosh in the middle. That's Rohrbach with the hit. To block to Adolph, and it will fly off of, I believe that was Warner. Via Aberdeen Christian point, 7-3. Or 7-4, I should say. Rohrbach on the serve, seriously by Warner to Scone, knocking it over. Rohrbach again. To block to, I believe that was Fights, and she'll get the kill. And it's now 7-5. Rohrbach on the serve, barely getting over, and falls out as Morton Gosh takes a seat for Alexei Charlemagne. It's 8-5 in favor of GPL. Kristen Cluck on the serve, and that goes into the net. Point Knights. Vilhauer on the serve. Serve received by Cluck to Scone to Warner. And it'll fly off and it will hit. I believe that was Vilhauer right in the face. And it's now 9-6. The lead is now back up to 3 for GPL. Rohrbach on the serve, or serve receive, I should say, to block, or that was fights, but she will step over the line. It'll be a point for GPL. 10-6 is the score. Fritz in the serve. Serve received by, that was Rohrbach to block to Businger. You can see who that was there. Ooh, that was Shock on the hit there. It's going with the push. They weren't ready for it, but they recover. And that was, I mean, Fritzy and Cluck both went for it, and Cluck couldn't find where that was. It was flying up in the air. Everyone just laughing up. I mean, this is one of the games where, I mean, yeah, our girls will probably win, so it's like, just have fun. Just relax, have fun. Just have fun. I mean, you're playing the sport you love. I mean, you won't get to do this anywhere else. I mean, most of these girls won't end up playing in college. So it's just, high school's the only time you can, and it'll be a lot of fun. That was Hemming on the hit there, but that will fly out. Be a point for the Panthers. Sarah Warner on the serve. Serve received by Hemming to fights, to block, pushing it over. That's Scone. Sheldon with the push. And that'll just go out. Point for the Knights. It's now 11-9 in favor of GPL. Fights on the serve. Serve received by Cluck to Scone to Lent with the hit over. That was, I believe, Bill Howard a block to Shock. Cluck, Scone to Lent. That was partially blocked there by, I didn't see that. I believe that was Bill Howard who partially had the block there, but regardless, it's a 3-point lead for GPO now, 12-9. Shove on the serve, and that was close. It landed very, very close to the line, if not on it. 13-9. Charlemagne on the serve. Serve received by Vilhauer. I believe that was block, and Hemming hitting it over. That's Fritzy to Scone to Gosh hitting it over. Nice effort by GPL. And they get rewarded, and they get the point. 14-9. Charlemagne on the serve. So received by Vilhauer. That was Lent with the hit. Lent again. And she'll get the kill. Point for GPL. The lead is back up to 6. 15-9. Charlemagne now on the serve. And it would just go out. 5'9". Sophomore from Redwood Falls. Can't keep that one in play. That's Shock on the serve. Serve received by Fritzy to Scone. To Gosh outside. And she'll get the kill there. Didn't get that much heat on it, but it was enough to get the kill. And we'll have Carly Heil now coming in, getting her first action of the third set for Anna Fritzy. Scone on the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach to move. That was block. And Vilhauer tried to hit that one over, but she hit the pole. Okay, is that the official term for it? Is that a pole? Or what is it? I don't really know what it is. But regardless. Scone on the serve. Serve received by Hemming to block to fights. And that hit the net and barely got over. And it's now a 6-point lead, 17-11. Hemming on the serve. Serve received by Heil to Scone to Gosh. And another kill for Gosh. I believe she has 3 or 4 in the night so far. And the lead is now back up to 7, 18-11. Linton the serve, and she got an ace. A little bit of miscommunication by the Knights. Linton the serve received by Hemmen to Rohrbach. Miscommunication there. 2011. Yeah, that was Rovang with his serve receive to block to fights. And that'll hit the net, barely go over. 2012 is the score now. Rohrbach on the serve. Serve received by Warner to Lent. To Gosh with the push, he'll hit the net. And it'll fall down. 2013. There goes Rohrbach on the serve. Serve received by Cluck to Scone to Warner. We have block with the push. That's Scone to Heil to Gosh. Just barely getting that one over strategically though. I have Warner with a hit there. That's that was Hemmen to block to fights. And she'll hit that one into the net. 21-13. And Gosh will take a seat now for, I believe, Lexi Charlemagne. We're going to have a little tip right there over. Wow. Nice job there for Vilhauer. I mean, they weren't ready for it. And the lead is now 7, 21-14. Vilhauer on the serve. Serve received by Heil to Scone to back to Heil. That's Rohrbach to, I believe that was block to, they always shock and Panthers weren't ready for it. Knights on a little bit of a 4-1 run here. It was 2010, or 2011 I should say, now it's 21-15. That was Vilhauer on the serve. Oh, nice push there by Scone. Knights are ready for it though, it's Heil. Miscommunication by the Panthers, and Coach Rold starting to get a bit annoyed. I mean, Panthers just need a couple more points and they can close out Aberdeen Christian pretty early here. I know that's 6-1 run here. I don't know. Vilhauer on the serve. And that'll fly out. Point for GPL. 22-15. And Fritz in the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach. To block, to fight. That's Cluck. To Scone. Back to Warner. To Rohrbach with the dig. Block with the set. That's fights. And nice decision by Cluck to let that one go. 23-17 after a bit of a scare there. I think GPL can finally close out Aberdeen Christian. That was Fritz in the serve. Serve received by Rohrbach. To block, to fights, hitting it over. That's Lent. To Scone. To, I believe that was Warner. And she knew it as soon as she hit it, that flew out. That was a block on the serve. That's to Scone, to Charlemagne. And she'll get a kill. Rohrbach couldn't keep that one in play. And the Panthers are now 1 point away from winning this game. Game point for GPL. Warner on the serve. And that's Hemmen to, I believe that was Block, knocking it over. Lent for the win. She gets it. And GPL takes care of business. And they sweep Aberdeen Christian. I believe the score is 25-20, 25-17, and 25-18 with the win. GPL improves to 11-12 on the season. And Aberdeen Christian falls to 0-14. Well, my name is Aiden O'Hane. I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you next Monday for when Great Plains Lutheran takes on Waverly South Shore.